Here we are in the sun, basking. One more day before I head off to Amsterdam. You guys are watching SketchLona episode 48. Let's get to it. So the thing I'm dreading on my big trip is that I actually had to go into the old closet to get out a couple of sweaters here and there, because in Amsterdam right now it's about 11 degrees Celsius, and in Spain it's a very nice 24, which is a nice day in spring, I'd say. So yeah, I'm about to head out, get some presents, because I'm gonna meet my my little nephew for the first time. So I guess I have to get into the swing of things when it comes to family and, like, you know, baby showers, that kind of thing. And can you believe that that is actually a mural right behind me? Is that insane? Look at all those people. So yeah, so it's time to do a little last minute shopping. Just finished work on a Friday, and then relax and get some rest, because it's going to be a hectic 4 to 5 days of running around, meeting up with as many people as possible, and getting to see some sights, and hopefully having you guys tag along, even though I'm not sure if this is going to be this Sunday or the Sunday after that you actually get to see that. So hang in there.
So this week at the office, I pulled out one of my old favorite shows, Battlestar Galactica, typed in cast, and followed a couple of links to find some pictures to draw from, and I really have to finish watching that show. I absolutely love that show, but I think around season 3 or 4, it wasn't that I lost interest, I just kind of fell off the series and stuff happened, and I never went back to it, even though I always tried to, and then I always rewatched a few episodes of season 3, reminisced how good the show is, and then the same thing would happen again. But in the meantime, you can see the commander in the corner. We've got Boomer in the bottom corner, but she didn't come out quite like I liked the drawing, but the likeness isn't quite there. And this is Balthazar, I think his name was. The I Dream of Cylon's scientist who lowered the defenses that set them on their journey. He's a great character. I hope we one day find out, like, whether he's actually dreaming or whatnot, but if we do, no spoilers, because I'm gonna watch the end of this show. The thing I really enjoyed about making this drawing was it's a funny thing where, in order to get better at drawing portraits, you have this intensity while drawing, staying focused and trying to get the lines right, like the eye-hand coordination. And like, something that I've noticed in the past couple of months is that the more likely I am at getting the likeness right, like the better I get, the looser I draw when I sketch. Like, I'm not that fussed about getting the exact proportions right and the exact lines right. It's almost as if, it's not a comfort level, but it's almost as if when you just kind of let go and just have a relaxed attitude about making the drawing tends to come out better. Of course, you could argue that, well, if with that attitude, then you probably just think the drawing is better when it's not. But like I almost feel like this is turning into a little philosophical, not rant, but monologue. But I almost feel as if like being like super focused on getting it right almost has the opposite effect when it comes to drawing a likeness. And it certainly doesn't make for a more pleasant drawing experience. But with this one in particular, I felt that like with the forehead, for example, like, well, this is kind of over here, and the eyes are over here, and like, well, they should be aligned like this. And then I just started filling in, you know, the heavier blacks, which is another thing I tried to do differently with this drawing. Instead of shading by cross-hatching and drawing lots of parallel lines, I'm trying to look at the face differently and just draw in the heavy blacks first, and then add a little bit of cross-hatching here and there afterwards. And I think this will help me speed up drawing for comics a lot more, because it's less sketchy, but it's also a lot clearer, you know. But looking at a lot of art that I really enjoy, like by Arthur Adams and Travis Charest, and like some of these people. Arthur Adams stylizes a lot of his art, like in his later years. So now, like a lot of his art, like the composition is really well done. You know, the positioning of the characters and like the action and like what he is actually showing you in a scene or on a cover. But I also noticed that he, like, compared to his older stuff, which I was always enamored with growing up, there's just a lot less line work. There's a lot less, you know, artistic interpretation, so to speak. It's just very clear. Like, I'm trying to find the words here, like, you know, how to describe what it is he does, but like it's almost as if, like, in the 80s and 90s, when there was a lot of cross-hatching and shading going on, lots and lots of detail, it's almost as if over the next 20 years he moved into more of a European style, where they stylize further and further and try and get to show you more by actually drawing less. If that makes sense.
Good morning, everyone. I finally made it to the airport. My alarm didn't go off. Yes, that still happens from time to time. My clothes hadn't dried after I washed them yesterday and hung them out to dry all night, which is very unusual. So I couldn't quite pack, and I hadn't quite finished my packing. There was a detour on the bus. Just tried to get off. Someone was being arrested by kids. I'm only a little stressed out, but I think we'll make it. I've got about 20 minutes to get to the gate. Kore kore. Another thing is, I usually don't fly on the weekends. I try and avoid the weekends because there's so much tourism. And you can't blame me, because it is absolutely heaving. But somehow they're working full tilt, so I actually got through pretty smoothly. I guess I'm going over here. Need to have coffee.
De la cintura. Abroche los cierres delanteros y tire de la cinta hasta que el chaleco esté bien ajustado.
Wrap the strap around your waist. Fasten the front buckles and pull the strap until the life jacket fits snugly.
El chaleco se infla tirando de las placas rojas.
Inflate the life jacket.
Just landed, pretty uneventful flight. Got to listen to a couple of podcasts, and for once, I did not fall asleep. Because usually I'm knocked out during the flight, so I'm pleased to say that it looks like my phone, my Spanish SIM and everything is working here in Holland as well. So now to get out of the airport, get a ticket, find out if my bank card actually works here. I did bring enough cash, and then head out to my hometown. So I need to get a train ticket, but like I said, I'm not sure my Spanish bank card actually works because it's a really basic one. So I've got my credit card with me and cash, plenty of cash. Or I could just go up to a window. Options. So first thing to do is to get to Central Station, then head over to whatever top up I need to get on the bus these days, because they have the special trip cards. I've been out of the country so long, so many little things have changed, but I'm still not in the habit because I don't go back often enough, like how to actually work everything properly. But I did manage to not forget that card, so I don't have to buy a new one again this time. So let me see. Amsterdam, 2 minutes. Not gonna make that one. Domestic trains. All right, let's see if we can pull this one off. So I think we got it figured out. The lady just explained that this card actually works on trains as well. However, you need an app added onto the card, and there needs to be at least 20 euros on the card for it to even work. So that's a bit expensive, as opposed to how the Oyster works in London. However, she put the app on there. I added another 20. There was still 20 on there from my last time. So now I need to use these little poles and check in, and I'll be on my way to Amsterdam. Oh. To find my bus. It's going to be the tricky part. But luckily, with the phone working in this country, I just got to ask friendly Mr. Google like how to get to my brother's place from here, because he didn't even know which bus, because he's always driving, of course. But you know, having lived in such big cities as I always have, Amsterdam, London, now Barcelona, before that Bogota, I've never actually owned a car, so there's just no need. All right, let's see if it's over here somewhere.
So here we are. My town is only about 20 minutes outside of the capital, but it's a completely different world, as you'll be able to see. And it's so quiet. Like just, the silence, it was deafening. When my friend was over a couple of weeks ago in Barcelona, like, she complained, of course, about all the noise in the middle of the night. And we don't do double glazed windows or anything like that, like we do here, because we're prepared for the cold, you know. And in Spain and even in the UK, it's just a lot more noisier when you're inside your own home. But coming back to my own hometown and just walking around, I just could not help but notice just how quiet everything was.
Just had a great day out at my friend's house and at my brother's, and now it's time to make my way back to my friend's house here in Amsterdam North. But check out where I am. Look at this place. You ever seen something like this? This is the bike parking lot. And as you can see, it's insane. Hello everyone, welcome to my my Sunday morning, perusing the streets of Amsterdam in this very special episode of SketchLona. If you're new to the series, my name is Jan. Usually I show people what's been happening in my sketchbook as I make my little drawings while either at the office or after work, just to hone my skills. Lately I've been embarking on a little project to make fairly large postcards of the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, which is where I get to live. But this episode, I've made it all the way to my native country, to Holland, and to check in with my friends. Well, I guess that's the night watch, but not quite how I remembered it. To check in with my brothers and see how my new nephew is doing for the first time, which was very fun. And seeing my brother's house for the first time. I've not been there yet. I think it's been like over a year since last time I was here. So if you've been following along, you may remember having seen a little bit of Amsterdam, my hometown, before. But if you haven't, I'll be sure to shoot lots and lots of footage this episode, this weekend, as I'll be showing some of my friends from Colombia who are in town around. And that should be tomorrow, because they keep pushing it back because they're already in Europe, like doing the rounds. But today is Sunday, so after yesterday's visit to my hometown, dropping on my brothers and some of my friends who were having a double birthday party, and just surprising them with my presents. Yeah, today's another trip to the hometown with one of my best friends, Andrea, whose family is coming over tomorrow. And then I think that's pretty much my plan for this week. So what else has been happening? Well, lots of things. In the last 2 episodes, there was a little bit of drama in the background with Catalonia wanting to vote for independence. Well, that did happen for about 10 seconds. I don't know if you watch the news, but it's been interesting from a political point of view. My friends who are all in favor were still very excited about getting a step closer, but at the same time they were, a tad let down. But politics are politics. It looks like it will be simmering down a bit. So the massive demonstrations we've been having in the center of Barcelona in the last 2 weeks, 700,000 people at a time, I think that's slowly gonna simmer down a little bit. Well, fingers crossed. Because let's just say things have been hectic. I don't want to get into the politics too much. It's a very long and complicated story, but it's definitely been interesting. And it's definitely been interesting, like, filling in all my friends here who are, like, very worried. Yeah. Fairground, guys.
But then as I'm editing this video, there's just no escaping from politics. It is now actually Saturday the 20th of the edit for this video, and to be able to post it online for you guys. And all these notifications just started popping up that the national government is invoking the Constitution to dissolve the local government and to put an end to the Catalan leadership. And that probably means snap elections if we're lucky. But for the meantime, it looks like they've just pulled the trigger and announced direct control from the capital over the region. Having caught up with all the politics and with my flatmates here, more politicians have been arrested, more pro-independence people have been arrested, and about 800 companies, including 2 out of 3 national banks that were headquartered here, have already left the region, and I don't think they're coming back. So there's a serious economic cost to this little insurrection, if you will. I don't want to judge because I am not from here, and it's very hard to feel this passion they have for wanting to have their own country and feeling that they've been thwarted for hundreds of years. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how things are gonna develop, because it now looks like it could go wrong, and then my company would definitely be one of those companies leaving the region altogether. So while we gather the Colombian friends and family around a little terrace, enjoying a brief bit of summer this weekend, all of a sudden the temperatures hit record highs for October, and there was no need for sweaters at all. So with a couple of beers, we devised a little plan for how to tackle the city and see as much as we possibly could in the 2-3 days available to us. While I recounted that once upon a time, Amsterdam too was part of a little insurrection against the Spanish crown, and we ended up fighting about an 80-year war in order to gain our fair amount of what we thought was fair representation for all the taxes we were paying to them. And that's kind of how the country of the Netherlands came to be.
Good morning, everyone. It's a Monday morning. We're about to do the whole hop on, hop off bus tour, which I've never actually done in my own city, but it's gonna be pretty cool, because we've had experiences in Paris and in Madrid where like these bus tours is just a great way of quickly overseeing the whole city and then deciding afterwards what parts you want to explore more. So that's in the works for today. I kind of have some ideas what I'd like to show them later on, but hopefully we'll get to that too. So still very busy trying not to get run over. And we are I cannot tell you how many times I made this commute by tram, like this street right here. But you know, looking out the window, there's all these beautiful buildings here, but there's this one building in particular I just wanted to show you. I really like the sculptures and just the colors, and it's one of many, like, I don't know if it's Art Deco or what kind of style you'd call this, but they're dotted throughout the typical era houses that we have here, so
Of which you'll see plenty in some later footage, but here's the building in full. Check it out, and look at some of the really nice details, like the little animals they hide in there. It's pretty neat, huh? All right, let's get on with the tour. Let's hop on one of these buses and show you the city.
The line has 11 stops, and the complete round trip takes 1 hour 15 minutes. You can get on and get off as many times as you like, and the frequency between buses is every 15 to 20 minutes. Also, include in your tickets you are invited to Hassan Diamonds Factory, stop number 5. There, if you want to, you can enjoy a free guided tour. And now, for those who are planning to visit any museums or attractions, just let you know that we have discounted tickets on board, and our tickets are faster than
I have to add a little comment here that it's really surreal to be a tourist in your own city, and if you haven't done it, I totally recommend it. It's really awesome. I actually got to see quite a few things and learn a few new things that I didn't know about Amsterdam.
De hecho, Holanda es un país que está por debajo del nivel del mar. Entonces, casi toda la ciudad
got everyone.
se hizo ganando.
Making sure we're not losing one or leaving them behind. I cannot begin to tell you how long it's been since I've last been in this flea market. It's the biggest one in the city. I have very fond memories of looking for the odd tie-dye t-shirt. Way back when, in the 90s. What are my Colombian friends looking at? Cannabis chocolate? I've tried to keep them on the short and narrow and out of trouble, but it looks like I failed. They wouldn't go into a coffee shop, but they found their cannabis chocolate in a marketplace. Well, what do you know? What else is the plan for today? Looks like we'll be doing a little bit more sightseeing, just checking out the various boroughs, and eating ourselves full at every stop and having a beer at every stop. I know. It's really hard work being a tourist when you think of it like that.
Estaba viendo que había como muchas casas así en bote, ¿no? Mira, eso, por ejemplo, ¿eso no es una casa?
Así hay muchos.
Sí, ayer vimos una casa, la que vimos era una casa bote. La que ayer vimos, que las
Y esa
habitaciones
es
eran muy...
bonita también, ¿verdad? Es una casa bote.
Sí, esa, sí.
It's day 3 of some serious sightseeing here in Amsterdam, and I'm sorry to say that some of us have not survived the night. Please send help. We had a fantastic day out. Being a tourist is very hard work, as you might imagine. And if you don't, I recommend you go on a trip. This is my first trip in about a year, and it's been freaking awesome being back. But I have to say, after a very long trip, going all across the city and looking at windmills and eating way too much food, topped off by a visit to the Hard Rock Cafe, where we got absolutely stuck. I couldn't even make it past my, I only had a starter as a meal. I couldn't even start that one. And then after that, we had a little bit of a walk, send the kids back to the hotel with grandma, and decided to go to the red light district because that's a thing to see. Which of course end up in lots of hilarity, ending up in a bar with a view to well, not gonna, you know, let's keep this friendly, but let's just say there was a lot of English tourists near us cheering, and we had another couple of drinks and they decided to stay longer. I had to catch the last bus to Amsterdam North, which was sometime after midnight. Feeling a little nauseous right now, but apparently they didn't quite make it, all of them. So I have some time to myself wandering the flower market. Any tulips? Anyone? Tulips? Any color you like. So I'm gonna walk around a little bit, shoot a couple of pictures. There's lots of new shops. You know, it's been over a year, so it's pretty awesome just walking through my own city, just seeing how much is new. There's entire islands next to the central station that I'd seen under construction, but now there's like a whole new skyline that I'd never paid attention to. Can't just have appeared 1 year. So that's pretty cool. And apparently they're thinking of building like a little mini Manhattan. You know, adding some proper skyscrapers. I don't know how they're going to do that because the earth here is not as solid. Basically, we built the city in a swamp. And as the joke goes, it sank into the ground. So we built another one. And then that one sank into the ground. So we built another one. Now, but there's close to where I'm walking to right now, they're actually building and have been building a new subway line, huge subway line to cross through the city, so they can supply the whole city through an underground system and then hopefully ban all heavy vehicles from the city, because Amsterdam is actually sinking. The city was not built to withstand heavy vehicles like we have nowadays, heavy traffic. And I guess one of the reasons we ride so many bikes here is not just because we ride bikes, but you know, like, it's kind of a pain to get through the city by car. You know, there's so much traffic. It's too busy. You're just much faster by bike. Even though today, well, I suppose it's still early in the morning, but it's kind of quiet. The cinema I used to go to. How cool is that? I just wanted to show you guys this little view over here. Certain views I just have such fond memories of, like passing by and like looking at them. So this is definitely one of them. There's another one just up here I want to walk to. Let's see if we can get that one in. I think I may have showed you this one last time. I can't remember. I didn't look up my video from last time, but so yeah, here goes. But yes, other little tidbits. Apparently this iOS 11 update on the iPhone is killing the battery life, and I can confirm because I was just on a 15-minute bus ride here to the center, and it killed about 25% of my battery. And I've noticed that the lower it gets, the longer it seems to last, but like the top half just vanishes instantly. But I have to get these videos in, so all right, let's get ourselves killed. Almost there. Ah, they closed one of my favorite coffee shops. I mean, you know, not that I smoked. There's the Rokerij is one of the coffee shops. It was a little chain, but they always made a really big deal of like their interiors. Like the interior design was just fantastic. All right, but as you can see, it's now the old church. It's crossed. Let's get to this vista. Let's turn the camera around for a second.
Before we cut through some alleys and make our way back to the Rembrandtsplein, where there's this incredible art installation that I'd never seen before of the of one of Rembrandt's most famous paintings, The Night Watch. Check this out. I'm just gonna let the camera run for a little while. I'd love to read up on this, like how they've actually modeled in 3D all the characters of the painting, and like how did they make this? There has to be like a little documentary on this. But I bet it was for one of the centennials, like 300th birthday of Rembrandt or something like that, you know.
This is all new. That's really like a 3D night watch, like full scope. Pretty impressive. And the guy over here is providing the free Polish hip hop. So this building behind us is a trading company originally, but now they've put the archives of the whole city up on display, which is one of those things I got really excited about. So basically you can look up the entire history recorded in newspapers, everything. And it used to be somewhere close to where I lived and I never went because but now it's something that gets me excited. However, I found another thing that I have fond memories of, just a little thing. Don't know if this translates, but so if you look at these bridges, with the you see that little sea shelf just above my shoulder. So, and then these sculptures right here. These are just little tidbits of design dotted through the city that I just love, you know.
They decided that they wanted to build their own bridge, so they did, each paying for their own half of the bridge, but in the middle.
I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Some of the highlights of my little trip to Amsterdam and my hometown, Volendam, just outside of Amsterdam. Catching up with friends and some family. And I hope you tune in again next week. Time to catch up with the going-ons here in Catalonia and in Spain. And of course what's been happening in my sketchbook. So hit subscribe if you want to get the neat little update in your YouTube subscription feed. You can find me all over the internet as Janimal, including Patreon. Drop me $1 on Patreon, you get access to extended videos and the behind the scenes chatter about making these videos and all sorts of plans I've got in the works as they're rummaging through my little brain before I put them out for you here. So, see you next week.